Hey, I'm Brian, and this is the Bell MX-9 Adventure.
Had a couple days in the Bell MX-9 Adventure, and I really do like this little dual sport helmet.
This helmet is based off the Moto 9, which I've worn previously. Really love the comfort of that helmet.
It came out this year. It's like 200 bucks, so it's really affordable. I think the graphics on it look sweet, first and foremost. That's kind of one of the things I'm most pumped about. But in terms of the way it functions, I really don't have any complaints. I love the way the Moto 9 fits, and that's exactly how this thing feels. So the interior is really comfortable. It doesn't squish your cheeks as much because the cheek pads have been made a little thinner now.
Spent 2 days dual sporting with this helmet, long days with the helmet on. And you know, you come up to a stop, a gas stop, or just taking a break, and most of the time you can't wait to get that helmet off. I can just leave this thing on all day. Really comfortable helmet.
The only adjustable vent on this is the mouth guard, and you can feel the difference. Right around 20 miles an hour, I can start feeling a difference between when this is open and closed. I will say though, when it gets dusty, it does get a little hard to move around. So with gloves on at times, I was struggling with it. But other than that, the vent does work well.
I was kind of hoping for some more vents I could close off. We had some days where it started out really cold, got really warm. So I wanted to kind of turn them off and on throughout the day.
You know, the vents up top, they're non-adjustable and they're adequate. It was fairly warm one day, and the first day we rode, it was pretty cool and moderate. It didn't need a lot of venting, but you know, when you can feel that cold air pumping in the mornings, you really know it's working. And out on the trail, when it did warm up, my head stayed cool enough. The nice thing about it, you can open up this face shield and get a little bit more airflow to the front of your face, and that helps.
Okay, let's talk about the visor on the MX-9. We did a lot of varied riding with this helmet, real tight wood stuff, open highway stuff. Obviously, the Visors Great off-road. It blocks the sun out. But on the highway, that's where they can get tricky, right? But I still found that like this thing performed really well up to about 60-65 miles an hour.
It's pretty solid. It has a 3-position mount, so it's definitely on there good. It doesn't vibrate, and I love that because I've worn some of these helmets where they buzz and it gives me a headache. So this thing is solid. I really don't have much complaints there. The fact that you can change it, it's 2 positions, so you can't really do it on the fly. You have to remove the screw on top. I found that in the upmost position, it worked okay, but pretty early in the afternoon, I started getting sun in the face. So I dropped it the second day, and I like it in the lower position much better. It's non-obtrusive. You don't really notice it in your line of sight, but it does a pretty good job of blocking the sun. So I really like that. As it gets dusty on the shield, you definitely want to use the visor. When it gets dusty on the shield, you definitely want to use the peak because it's going to really cut down on that glare. The visor works great, the shield works great. I have no problems with the way it opens. It gets up far enough that it's out of your line of sight for the most part. It doesn't bother me anyways. In terms of the field of view, it's nice and wide. I didn't have any issues with peripheral vision, checking traffic, or anything like that. So definitely a cool little helmet. The fact that you can pull this off relatively easy and clean it makes it nice as well. But let's talk about the seal. It's not the quietest helmet on the market, but it does a pretty decent job with that. I will say though that the seal works pretty well. I rode with contacts in, so dusty, dual sport with contacts, like that's a perfect test of how well this is going to keep that stuff out. And I don't feel a lot comes in through the seal, so it does a good job with the gasket material. Also, I ran it with goggles, and I just threw them on. I didn't take the face shield off. I just put the goggles on, and there's no cutouts or anything, but I'd be riding along and my goggles were clear, and if I got into some dusty stuff because I caught the guy in front of me, I just throw the visor down real quick, or the shield rather, and it was really cool. You had that option to do that. So I was kind of surprised. That was one of the cooler things to me that I discovered. It's comfortable to wear. I had a mid-size goggle, slipped right in, no problem. So I think that that's a cool thing that dual sport people will appreciate.
Overall, considering the price point on this helmet of about 200 bucks, I'm really impressed with it. It has that comfort, that fit from the Moto 9. Has a lot of cool features with the adjustable visor, some venting, the removable cheek pads, the removable liner. I think you're getting a lot of helmet for the money.
Overall, I think the MX-9 Adventure is a great little helmet. For the money, the styling, the venting, it's all there. So check it out, find your right size, and go for it. Fits like a Bell Moto 9, which is obviously a great helmet and very comfortable. So for me, as far as I'm concerned, there's really no complaints here.